What's the difference between scarcity mentality and an abundance mentality? And really the question is here at the IMA, like, what does this have to do with digital marketing, especially the future of digital marketing? Well, today I'm going to show you how it's intrinsically linked and how the future of digital marketing is squarely rooted in the abundance mentality. First, let's kind of define what those two terms means. The abundance mentality is really centered when you look at the world and you say, no matter what's going on, I believe that there is opportunities all around me. I believe there's enough money to be made, enough clients out there, enough life partners or people to meet, to date and find. It's just looking at the world with a lens that says there is more than enough all around me to supply me for 10 lifetimes. The scarcity mentality is really centered around fear. It's what the news cycles want you to be wallowed in because fear causes people to be terrified and it causes people to take action that is not centered around what they truly want, but that keeps them in kind of the cycle that they're in. Fear is what keeps people coming back to checking news cycles and saying, oh my God, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? Because when we were millions of years ago on the savannah running away from predators, we have something wired into the back of our reptilian brain that causes a fight or flight sensation when we feel like our lives are in danger. And that was great when we were running for our lives. It's not great when an email comes in at 11 p.m. and immediately triggers that sensation inside of you of that full body cortisol, of stress, of worry, of fear. And when we're operating in a world where we are accessible through all channels and social media and Slack and MS Teams and email, we no longer have a place to hide. And so how does all of this tie into digital marketing? Well, it ties into the future of digital marketing insofar as that marketers today need to understand the psychology of the customer base that they are marketing to in a post-COVID world. And if we as marketers or brand owners are operating under scarcity, oh my God, we need to get more customers or we're out of business. We need to get more customers or I'm going to lose my job. We need to do, it's like grasping at sand. And the harder you grasp, the more it falls through your fingers. When we were in a crazy bull run of people buying anything off of the internet in terms of, it doesn't matter if you market it, they want it, they need it, they're gonna buy it. It was this I'll refer to Maslow's hierarchy of needs, basically. It was this journey towards the top of that pyramid of self-actualization. I'm gonna buy this, it's gonna make me look cute, and that make me look cute, that's gonna make this person like me, or etc. But when COVID hit, all of that evaporated overnight. And it drove everybody down into the bottom of the pyramid in terms of their purchasing behavior to say, what are my psychological and physiological safety needs that need to be met? And the brands that made it through are the ones that understood that. The brands that never adapted or operated out of fear are the ones that are having trouble or have already gone out of business. And while there are some brands that just weren't able to ever adapt and they didn't have the runway or they didn't have the timeline or the mentality or the resources, or maybe it was just a Main Street business that just couldn't recover, I'm not talking about those for the moment. I'm talking about businesses that are currently selling online or adapting to selling online. These are the types of businesses that consumers still want to buy from. But your old method of operating, or even maybe your old product, or your own prices, or your promotions, maybe those were good for you in a different market, but in a post-COVID world need to be examined. As a brand owner and operator inside of a business, you cannot operate under the scarcity mentality. Oh, we've already done it. We've always done it like that. We've put this much money into it. Man, we spent so much time and effort on it already. We have to just get it over the line when the world has fundamentally changed. Taking a look at your product and service with a new, fresh set of eyes and understanding, saying, what is the new opportunity for this business and who are our customers and how do they act? That's what an abundance mindset does as a brand owner and operator. More on that in a second. We'll come back to it. From a marketer perspective, something we do here at my firm, Stealth Venture Labs, we're a digital marketing agency, boutique, that has helped many different brands grow through big growth plateaus from 1 million to 10 million to 100 million and beyond. We've generated about $500 million in revenue for our clients in the last 5 years. And this year we'll manage about $50 million in media on behalf of our clients. We have an internal process we call Adlightenment. An Adlightenment process is rooted in abundance. The abundance approach to understanding the reverse engineering of the psychological behavior of who our potential customers are is fundamental in having empathy for how they act in this post-COVID world. If we don't have empathy of how they act in this post-COVID world and understanding their true behavior, even down to what do they do in the morning? What does their morning routine look like? What are they eating for lunch? Where are they working from? Do they have kids? What happens? What are their concerns? Where were their pains before? What are their pains now in these certain areas? And where do we think we can hit them in the day where we solve the pain that they need, where our product makes the most sense? That dot connection process of reverse engineering of psychology, of the consumer pains, really getting an empathetic look at who they are, and then looking at the brand's features and benefits and saying, I don't care about features, tell me all about the benefits. And connecting the dots of the benefits of what the brands bring to the consumer's pain, that dot connection process, no matter of channel, for us is called Adlightenment, where it feels like it's copy and a campaign in which your best friend wrote. And when we hit that, we know we've hit a vein, and we see it in cost per acquisition, we see it in cost per click, and in the growth and scale that all of our clients are seeing right now. Those brand features and benefits come back to what I was saying earlier around if you're not adapting. A lot of people say, I'm just going to market my features, I deliver food to your doorstep. I deliver food to your doorstep is a feature. What do you actually deliver? You deliver peace of mind. You deliver more time with my kids. You deliver date night. In that process, those are the benefits. Those features and benefits mix up are where a lot of brands are going to die on the vine. So what does that have to do with abundance and scarcity? Scarcity markets features, abundance markets benefits that are relevant to the consumer behavior today. And in today's world, if we are not looking at the world saying there is a ton of opportunity out there, and if we are not letting the news cycles that are constantly jamming negativity and scarcity and fear into our bloodstreams, trying to keep us at high cortisol levels, if we're not letting those get to us, even though what they're espousing are real problems, I'm not discrediting any of that, they are real problems. However, what I'm suggesting is that if we as individuals and as professionals can take more of a mindset of what is the opportunity here in this new world and take a step back and with fresh eyes view the landscape, we would see the world in a completely different way. So when IMA asked me to talk about the future of digital marketing, I could give you tactics and tips and tricks and things that we're doing to scale brands and businesses, and that's great. And there's some really cool stuff that we're doing there and technology we're using, and that's wonderful. But it really all boils down to a scarcity versus an abundance mindset and understanding the psychology of your consumers moving forward. And if you as a brand are not adapting to the new consumer behavior, which is fundamentally changed forever, you will die on the vine. So all of this is fine and dandy, and it's easy to say, well, hey, yeah, great, have an abundance mindset, good for you, right? And that's all nice coming from you as an entrepreneur. And no, here's the deal, is that you have a choice. You have a choice every day when you wake up. And I'm telling you this out of my own personal experience. One day about 2-3 years ago, I woke up in the most miserable, unhappy place of my life. Having gone through a divorce with my ex-wife, having a business that was on the ropes, and being very isolated from my community and friends and family. And I'll share this story with you out in vulnerability, which is that I woke up the unhappiest and most depressed I've ever been in my life. And so what I decided to do is I decided to make a change. And I realized that I couldn't make a change in my professional life and with the company unless I changed me. And I had to look inward first. And so what I'm here to invite you all to do is that during this time and say, before we talk about the future of digital marketing, let's go inward on ourselves first. And let's examine what it is that we are doing on a day-to-day basis that makes us unhappy, that makes us operate in fear, and that maybe is toxic in our life. And let's re-engineer our days to focus on the things that bring us joy, the things that make us laugh, things that inspire us, and the things that bring hope and opportunity into our life. Now, that's not an easy test to do, and so tactically what I did is I went down and I wrote down a list of what I call my list of joy. All the things that make me happy. All the things that bring me joy in my life that make me smile. And it could be anything from photography to traveling to Italy, I love Italy, to all sorts of things that just brought me joy and made me smile. And sadly, when I sat down, it was hard to write that list. 3 years ago, I was so focused and I was in such a scarcity mentality of all things I didn't have that I forgot about the things that I did have. And when I sat down and I put intention towards that list, and that list of joy started to grow and grow and grow, I started to realize how much they were missing from my life. And then the next day I looked at that list and I said, wow, there's actually some categories here. And if I were to group these into categories of different things, it actually bubbled up into 4 categories, what I now call my priority pillars. My priority pillars are my health, my mind and my body, my family, my blood and my chosen family, my career, both giving back and making money, and my community, personal and professional. Health, family, career, community, and all my things on my list of joy boiled up into this. And so if you're gonna make a list of joy, go and do that. But then the next day, come back and see what those categories are. And see what those categories are that they can all bubble into, maybe 4 or 5, no more than 5. And start to take inventory of what are you doing in your life that is bringing you joy in those categories, and where are your priorities? And then after you make your priority pillars, go on and then take a look at what are your goals for the next 3, 6, or 12 months. This is a good time to maybe set a 3-month goal through the end of the year. And what I highly recommend is writing those goals down. By this date, I will do this thing, and to do this thing, I will do X, Y, and Z. And read them before you go to bed and when you wake up in the morning. But don't just read empty words. Before you read them, drop in to an elevated emotion of gratitude. Right now, I'm thinking about a place in Italy, in Florence, in the Ponte Vecchio. Actually, the picture right behind, that's the Ponte Vecchio. You can't really see, it's out of focus. Ponte Vecchio in Italy, in Florence. Standing on a bridge, I took that photo and it just makes me so happy, and I felt such gratitude being there at that sunset. I drop into that moment, and every night I read my daily affirmation around my goals that are based off of my priority pillars that are seeded from my list of joy. When I did this cycle from 90 days, I went from being out of shape, unhappy, and totally depressed to made $1 million, to having have the best friends of my life reintegrated into my life, and just to being in a happier place than I'd ever been. 90 days. So how does that process tie into digital marketing? I'm sharing with you vulnerably because I'm a person behind our company, 25-person company, boutique marketing firm, great, but I'm a real person, right? And I'm sharing with this with you because I fundamentally believe that our company could not be as successful today if I hadn't taken that time in those 90 days to get my priorities life in my life and switch from a scarcity mentality into an abundance mentality, that there is enough, there is opportunity, there is hope, I am doing the things that make me happy, and there is a ton of excitement in the future versus I don't have, I want, I need. That was my seed to what I call the upward spiral. So my message to all of you is, what is the future of digital marketing? The future of digital marketing is creating upward spirals in your own life, creating products that help your customers create upward spirals in their life. And it's to really understanding and taking a step back and empathetically looking at the pains in the market, the pains in the customer's lifestyles, and making sure that your product actually solves that pain. Tactics and channels and all that stuff's going to grow, it's going to evolve, technology's going to, boom, and all that stuff's great, right? And those are tools that help us get there. But when you boil it down, the only way you're going to grow as a brand and as a digital marketer is by taking a step back, taking inventory of how you view the world, shedding yourself of the scarcity mentality, and embracing full abundance. If you have any thoughts or questions about any of this stuff, I'd love to talk with you. Feel free to shoot me an email. My email is brent.freeman@stealthventurelabs.com, brent.freeman@stealthventurelabs.com. Happy to chat with any IMA member. Thank you for this opportunity, and I look forward to seeing you all soon.